Hi there, this is Christian down here in Santiago, Chile, doing a video entry for this thread that I've seen a couple of videos in the YouTube, um, in the VC community. I think I saw it on Ron Haggerty's channel, and he was showing 10 albums from the 70s, from 71 until 80, that we like very much, basically on the hard rock, heavy rock, etc., etc., etc. So this is my selection on this. Well, the criteria I was following is not to try not to choose many albums are from hard rock or rock scene that I usually have shown in videos, or maybe some other guys may have been showing them. So I try to pick up some difference, some maybe not. So here's my take on it. First, for 1971, it's from The Who. Who's Next? This is a great album with an iconic art cover. This is one of the biggest album of them, because they have in it there are three big songs like Baba O'Reilly, opening track, and the closing track, Won't Get Full Again. Also, a really good one is Behind Blue Eyes. And another great song is Bargain. I find it really good, and my wife songs of it. This is a great album from 71. So this is my first pick. The Who. Who's Next? Then in 1972, I could easily pick up one huge album from that year, but I decided to go with another great album of that year, that it was related to that one. And without further ado, this is Deep Purple, made in Japan. Of course, we all know this album was recorded over 3 nights, I think, in Osaka and Tokyo in Japan in 1972, supporting the Machine Head album. This is a remastered edition. It is a two bonus. It's a two disc CD with bonus material. Great stuff. I also got the chance to buy it. Got it really cheap. So it's a great acquisition to my collection. So from 1972. Deep Purple, made in Japan. Next, for 1973, this is one of the biggest albums ever. One that has been, I think it has the record of being in the top 200 in Billboard, almost, I don't know, over 20 years there. And of course, it's Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. This is a 2003 edition. It was remastered and did in SACD version pressing. It sounds amazing. It's really good. It came with a nice booklet with lots of pictures and lyrics and many stuff from their previous releases. But this is a great album. Some may say that it's not hard rock, but for me it's an awesome album, and it's one of the most iconic also art covers of all time. We all know the art cover from Hypnosis. This is a great one. So this is my pick for 1973, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Next, for 1974, I'm going with one of my favorite bands that unfortunately in the last couple of years it's been caught in all this hype of the Freddie Mercury biopic, and it seems like everybody has been discovering Queen, so there's been a lot of hype and well, seems like everybody now loves Queen, but you all know that Queen's been around from the early 70s, and the album that they're picking up from 1974 is Queen 2. There it is, the cover. This is not an album that has many singles. That's the it's kind of a gate. It's a gatefold, but it opens like this. It doesn't have many famous songs or singles. The only most popular song is The Seventh Sea of Rye, that it also appears in the first album. So it's kind of an odd to the casual listeners of Queen that don't know much of their early material. So this is a good album from Queen. It's not so full of big hits, a lot of deep cuts. That if you like to hear some of the early work of Queen, I highly recommend from 1972, Queen 2. So 74, sorry, 74. Next, from 1975, one of my favorite albums from this band. I could easily go pick all the first 6 albums of Black Sabbath and put it from 70 to 75. But from 1975, I'm choosing Sabotage. This is a great album, also with an iconic artwork. Here you have A Hole in the Sky, Megalomania, Center of the Universe, and another, and side B, I have chosen The Thrill of It All, The Read, I'm Going Insane. That's some great, more deep tracks of Deep Purple, of Black Sabbath that you don't usually hear, of course, on the radio or maybe on some playlist. But if you like to hear some good material, go to side B of Sabotage and you won't be disappointed. So for 1975, here it goes, Sabotage from Black Sabbath. Next, for 1976, I'm picking up these guys, of course, Rush and their masterpiece 2112. You all know this album. This is great. I need nothing more to say to it. This is from the remastered edition. Great album. The opening track, the 2112, and the 10 parts are amazing. Also, the other songs are really good. I'm liking very much. Of course, Passage to Bangkok, Lessons, and The Twilight Zone is also really good. So from 1976, Rush and their masterpiece 2112. Next, 77, the mighty AC/DC and Let There Be Rock. Awesome album, great material, maybe a little bit underrated when you compare the next couple albums that are going to follow this one. That being said, Highway to Hell and Back in Black. But this is a great album. It has some great materials. Go Down, Dog Eat Dog, Let There Be Rock, of course, Bad Boy Boogie, Problem Child, Overdose, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, and the final track, Holy Rosie. great album. And I also love very much the artwork. I think it's really cool, kind of drawing picture of the band on stage. Here you can see Angus and the rest of the band. If you really like AC/DC with Bon Scott and you are a little bit saturated with Highway to Hell, please pick up this one and give it a try, and you won't be disappointed. Next, 1978. This was almost an easy pick for me because mostly of the impact that this album, this band, and these musicians made in the rock scene of the late 70s and early 80s in the hard rock. And it's the debut album of Van Halen, their Van Halen 1. You all know this. We all know this album. The performance of Eddie Van Halen changed the way the music, the hard rock music was played back in the day. He completely changed the game, took it upside down, almost like what Hendrix did in the late 60s. Of course, Running with the Devil and Eruption are two great songs to open any album. And of course, you have the kind of the flamboyant lead singer. That he may be not the best singing guy you will ever see live singing on stage, but he has the performance, and he has all the ability to entertain and have the audience in the palm of his hand. He really took the stage by storm, and he was really a great compliment to the guitar work of Eddie Van Halen. So, for 1978, Van Halen self-titled debut album. Next, 79, I'm going with Whitesnake, Love Hunter. Yes, Love Hunter. This is also a great album. If you like Whitesnake, when they were kind of more of a blues band, not the glam hard rock of the self-titled album of 1987, and of course A Slip of the Tongue. Please check this out. This is a great one. Love Hunter. Here you have David Coverdale and the rest of the band doing what they did in the early days when they were more blues-oriented band. Great tracks here, of course. Medicine Man, that's a good one. Walking the Shadows of the Blues, great one. Wish You Well, that's a song that they still played sometimes live. So here it is, 1979, Whitesnake, Love Hunter. And finally, 1980, I'm going with these guys, Scorpions, and their album Animal Magnetism. Maybe it's not as good as Love Drive and as good as Blackout, but it's a really good one in their catalog, and in the early years of Scorpions. I could easily, for 1980, go with I don't know, Back in Black, the debut album of my favorite band, Iron Maiden, Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath, etc. But I decided to go with a different kind of album. This is being said, Animal Magnetism. Here the big song is of course The Zoo. Great one. Great work with the guitar by Matthias Jabs. But also there are great songs like Lady Starlight, Don't Make Promises Your Body Can Keep, Animal Magnetism, also a really good one. Falling in Love, that's a really good one. Give it a try to this album. and you won't be disappointed. So that's it for 1980, uh, Scorpions and Anima Magnetism. So there it is. Those are my picks for the 70s. I'm trying not to show all the big albums like Priest, Zeppelin, Rainbow. I tried to pick some other stuff that I think that will be interest for you guys. So let me know what you think about all the albums I picked. Until next time, this is Christian saying goodbye. See you.